In what is shaping up to be a significant backlash against her perceived extravagance, Meghan Markle has reportedly faced a stern rejection from Canadian authorities for her request of $500,000 in funding for new outfits ahead of the upcoming Invictus Games. This financial snub has thrown a spotlight on the increasingly controversial figure of the Duchess of Sussex, highlighting a public and official discontent with her spending habits at a time when economic prudence is expected from public figures. Meghan, known for her fashion-forward approach which has often been dubbed the Meghan effect, has previously enjoyed a lifestyle funded by royal budgets and lucrative brand deals. However, her latest demand for a $500,000 clothing budget for the Invictus Games in British Columbia has not only raised eyebrows but also ire, suggesting a disconnect between her expectations and the current economic climate. Critics argue that this request showcases an out-of-touch attitude, especially amidst global financial challenges where public funds are under scrutiny for more essential uses. The backlash has been swift on social media and among public commentators, with many questioning the necessity of such an extravagant wardrobe for an event focused on supporting wounded, injured, and sick servicemen and women. "It's an insult to the very spirit of the Games," one post on X stated, reflecting a sentiment that the focus should be on the athletes rather than on Markle's wardrobe. This incident has fueled a narrative of Meghan as a spendthrift, more concerned with her image than the core values of the events she's involved with. Further fueling the controversy, reports suggest that the funds were not just for any attire but for designer clothes, potentially to be worn during various appearances and events surrounding the Games. This has led to discussions about whether the money could have been better allocated towards enhancing the Games infrastructure or supporting the participants directly. Imagine if that money went into better facilities for the athletes or more support programs rather than into her wardrobe, another post on X highlighted, echoing a broader public sentiment of misprioritization. The Canadian authorities' decision to turn down the request isn't just about fiscal responsibility but also about setting a precedent. It sends a message that even figures with royal affiliations must align with public expectations when it comes to spending taxpayer or public event money. This incident might serve as a wake-up call to Markle about the public's perception of her lifestyle choices, especially when linked with public or charity events. Moreover, this rejection comes at a time when Meghan and Harry are navigating their post-royal life, trying to maintain influence and relevance in both the public eye and the charity sector. Their actions are under a microscope, and every decision, particularly those involving significant sums of money, is dissected for its implications on their brand and their commitment to the causes they champion. Critics argue that this latest faux pas could damage their credibility, suggesting that their involvement in charitable causes might be more about personal branding than genuine philanthropy. The Invictus Games, founded by Prince Harry, are meant to be about resilience, recovery, and community. The emphasis on fashion over function by Meghan, as perceived by her detractors, contradicts these values. There's a growing call for transparency and accountability in how funds are used by figures like Markle, with some suggesting that such incidents are indicative of a need for a more grassroots approach to their philanthropy efforts. In response to the backlash, there has been little official comment from the Sussex camp, which some interpret as an acknowledgement of the misstep or perhaps an attempt to let the storm pass. However, silence in this case might not quell the controversy but rather amplify it, as the public and media continue to speculate on the motivations behind such a lavish request and the implications for their public image moving forward. This situation also raises questions about the management of their public relations, where every move is calculated to shape or salvage their image. The rejection by Canadian officials could prompt a re-evaluation of how they engage with public events and the expectations they set. It might also encourage a shift towards more modest or self-funded appearances, aligning more closely with the ethos of the events they choose to be part of. As the Invictus Games approach, all eyes will be on how Meghan and Harry handle this fallout. Will there be an acknowledgement of the public's concern, or will this be brushed off as another example of media sensationalism? Whatever the case, this incident has undeniably painted a picture of Meghan Markle as out of touch, potentially overshadowing the noble intent of the Games themselves with controversy over couture.